YouTube, we have a problem.
Hi my friends, nice to see you. Today I want to do something special, but before we start, that I don't forget it, I have a little giveaway for my subscribers. You know, my channel is growing and I really thank you for that, each of you. And I got the possibility to get a little giveaway for you. It's a really useful tool for landscape photography, but I will tell you more about it later. So let's come to today's topic. I'm going to take a photograph tonight. It's a really special kind of photo tour. It's around half an hour from here, and there is a lake what's well known here in Austria, and I tried already for many years to get out a really great composition, but I never got one. It's a bigger lake and the access to the shore is really limited, so it's really difficult to get a photograph there, a really great photograph there. And as it's surrounded by beautiful mountains, the obvious thing for me always was to have a look at the peaks around, to hike up at one of the peaks and get a fantastic photograph over the lake. But as the lake isn't a round lake, it's more a longer lake, so it's really difficult to get a right balance within these surrounding mountains and so on. So I really struggled here so many times. There are really many possibilities for hikes up to the mountains around the lake, so this were really a great requirement. And I tried already to hike at some of these peaks, but I never was really happy with the composition I got up there. So either the angles of the peaks down to the lake didn't work really well for a really great composition, or it was a peak overgrown with trees, a forest peak if you want, so that you don't have any possibility to get a clear sight down to the lake. So I really tried so hard for so many years and I didn't find any possibility to get a photograph. What I didn't try in the last years was I didn't try to get up to a peak with lots of forest up there, because it doesn't make sense from the photographical side, obviously, because if you know that there are only trees up there and you don't have a possibility to see down, what should you do up there? And for woodland photography it's also a problem there, because you know, there is no possibility to get really a great ground fog up there. Could be that you will get lower clouds, but they will not last all long there, so it's really difficult. And this is the reason why I never tried to get up to a forest peak in this area. And what I do is, when I check out the location, when I want to get an idea what I can do there, which kind of photographs I could take, I always use Google Maps and Google Earth to have a look at it. And what I found out now is Google Earth updated their maps recently with more details as well, and this brought me to have a look again at this area, and I also considered the forest peaks now. So I had a look and finally I really found a potential spot up there. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm not 100% sure about it, because there are two things. It could be that the trees down there are too high so that I'm not able to look over them, or that they come into the frame from below but really wouldn't look all too good, or that the slope of the hill is not steep enough. So if the trees are higher and the slope is really steep, it also could be that it works. And these two things, in my experience, are really difficult to estimate, because yeah, I did something like this already for so many times, and either the trees were too high or the slope wasn't too steep, or it was steeper than I thought, or something like this. It's not 100% how you see it in Google Earth. And when I looked at the maps again, it looks a little bit after a young forest, but I'm not 100% sure about it. It also looks a little bit that we have higher shadows here, so I'm not really sure about this new map here in Google Earth. It could be that they are really high, and then definitely it will get really difficult to get a photograph up there. And there is a really great function in Google Earth. It's the history map, and when you click at this history icon, you have the possibility to go to an older map. So this is really fantastic, so I can compare it with the older map. And before it looked a little bit more like there were lots of bushes and so on. I never had tried to find the composition up there, to be honest, but as it looks in the moment, it really looks a little bit like as they have deforested a little bit. So it's really amazing. It's exactly at that place where I had the best possibility for a composition. How crazy is that? It's absolutely amazing. So I definitely want to hike up there, have a look and try my best to get out a really great photograph. Or try the best. If the trees are too high or the slope isn't too steep, I don't have a possibility, to be honest. So the chance to get out a photograph there isn't all too high. I think maybe something about 30% or something like this, I'm not sure about. But however, this is something I really love with landscape photography. It's not this typical honeypot spot where you go, put your camera on a tripod, take the exposure and you go home. It's something you really work on it and you think about it and you hope that it will work. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And as already mentioned, in most cases it doesn't work that way. I have to go up many times up to a mountain to get a photograph. And I think on this peak, it's maybe the one and only possibility to get out a photograph there from this lake down there. So there is only one possibility to find out how it looks up there. So let's go up there.
Whenever I'm off to find a sunset, a flavor of a memory, whenever all the stars above are shining, then I know I'll never be alone. Wherever all my wishes may be heading, a part of us will never leave. Oh, wherever in the world you may be hiding, in a while I know you're coming home. Tonight I know you will be coming home.
YouTube, we have a problem. I wasn't able to drive to my originally planned starting point because there was a road closed. So this means I have to hike additionally 1.5 hours, and I didn't plan this, to be honest. So it's a total hike of 2.5 hours, and now I have to go even longer. But however, I think usually I always try to be early enough on location to have enough time to think about the composition and try to get out the best photograph. But in this case, I know already exactly what I want, so I have my composition already in my mind. So in the worst case, we could take the photograph per screenshot on Google Earth. So the worst possible thing what could happen is not that the trees are too high or the slope isn't steep enough. I think the worst possible thing what could happen were that the trees are okay, the slope is okay, everything is great up there. I have a view down there, an amazing view down there, but I think there is a reason why they deforested everything up there, and I fear the worst possible thing what could happen were that they made something like a picnic place up there, something like this, and a big plate up there with the text, the last view to the lake. This were a nightmare, definitely. But yeah, I think the chance to get a really great view down there is not all too high, to be honest. But the question is, why do I do such things like this when I know already that the chance isn't all too high. And I think it's because it's not a honeypot spot. You know, when you go to a supermarket, you have the possibility, the easy possibility to buy a glass of honey. And you can go home and you only have to screw and you have this sweet honey in the glass. You have direct access to it, but you have the same honey as everyone has. It's nothing special. And when you see it from another side, let's say you go out in the nature, you have a look for a beehive maybe, and I'm not talking about these wooden beehives made by humans. I talk about beehives which are made by bees, by wild bees anywhere here in the forest. So it's difficult to find a beehive. It's much effort and you have to go up so many times into the woods to find a beehive. And even if you found one, you need a strategy. How can you get into this sweet gold? And it's not always so easy. But when you never give up, when you try and try, and you finally get into, and you taste this fantastic honey, it's a honey on another level. It's not comparable with this from the supermarket. And I think landscape photography is not so difficult from this. And this is the reason why I really prefer to go to places where it's really difficult to find anything. And maybe we also don't have a plan B, because I don't have a plan B for today. When there is no view down, I don't have a possibility for a photograph. We have clear sky today, predicted clear sky. We have a little bit of clouds up there in the moment, but they will solve more and more through the evening. I will tell you a little bit later about it, because I think this could work with this composition. And the thing is, I haven't seen this composition before, only so the screenshot or the capture of Google Earth, nothing more. I only have a rough idea, and I try already to think about how would it look with this or this weather, how could it look up there. And this is what I really love at landscape photography. So, but let's talk anymore about honey, because I get already hungry. So I will try to hike up there now, and I hope I will be early enough, but I think this should be possible. I've really planned lots of extra time, so let's go. So now it really gets interesting. I'm straight before this spot. I'm really excited. It's unbelievable. So I'm moving here. I had already a problem before with my GPS. I didn't mention before. As I mentioned already, I wasn't able to drive with my car where I wanted to go. So I had to hike an absolutely different route. It was hard to get up, to be honest. I had problems with my GPS before, so didn't see where I was. I always saw my point down there in the lake, where I definitely haven't been. In the beginning maybe, but also not in the water. And now I think I'm exactly here where I hoped to get a view down there. And there's not really anything deforested, and the trees are really high here. So That's not good. Don't have a view down there. So what could we do? Don't have any idea in the moment, but it doesn't look that we have the possibility to get a photograph at this point. The trees are definitely too high, much higher than I thought, and there is no hill to go up. So Google didn't do a great job, to be honest. It looks more like the old map with lots of bushes there, where I never had the idea to get here to get a photograph. So as it is in the moment, I don't see a possibility to get a photograph here. So there's also a good news. I have enough time to sunset. So I thought already if I maybe should put the drone up. I'm not 100% sure because of the focal length, and as I had the problem that I had to search for another route, I also forgot my spare batteries for my drone. So I have only one battery here for the drone, and I will think about it. But meanwhile, I found something else. If you have a look back there, I'm not sure if you can see this with the ultra wide angle lens here on my camera, but we have a wide vista back there to these distance mountains there, and we have a fantastic layering effect. So it looks really pretty good. It's a few hours before sunset, and I think as we have lots of clouds up there, it could be that we get light at this hill back there in the mid-ground, and I want to take these trees here in the front as foreground to frame the image a little bit. So this could look really pretty good as it's a gappy day. In the moment we have gaps. For later I expect that it resolves a little bit more, as already mentioned. An important thing when I want to photograph something like this is that I go down with my exposure compensation. So I think the trees in the front, it's no problem when they get really black. It's really not a problem, but I don't want to burn out the highlights. This is very important. So I've gone down even to -1.7. I will not do exposure bracketing because it's not really necessary. The dark areas can be dark. I have no problem with this. So the dark areas are more the trees here in the front. And I have no problem with the mountains back there. They will anyway be soft, so it doesn't matter which exposure I use. And this is what gives this fantastic layering effect. So it's really not a problem. It's okay to go down to -1.7 without HDR or something like this. And now it looks a little bit that we get light at the mid-ground. The mountains back there will be really soft because, yeah, we have a little bit haze in the air. What's usually not a good thing, but here really helps because we get a really fantastic layering effect. So let's make the click. It's really a fantastic place here. If the trees were not there, it's absolutely amazing to look down. So I think I will try it with the drone. As already mentioned, I only have one battery here and I don't want to waste it to fly up and have a look how it looks, because I had already a look with Google Earth and I think that it really should work. I've seen the lines, the rough lines I can see in Google Earth, obviously, but I think that it really would work. So when I would go up with my drone, I will try it. And a really important thing that I can estimate now how the sun will cast everywhere on my landscape, because I have it already in my mind. I have the composition in my mind. It's really important to have an idea where the sun will be then when it goes down. And I mentioned this already in one of my videos. I used photobills for a long time and I still use it. But for these quick normal things, you only want to have a look where the sun is or where the sun will be. I use the app SunnyTrack. I still use photobills because it's really an amazing app and it has so many functions, but as many functions it has, that sometimes it's really difficult because I change anything, and when I want to use it quick because I want to have a look where the sun will be in a few minutes or in a few hours or whatever, I really have the problem that I've changed anything and I have to go through the menus and through the settings. And so what I do is I use another app. It's SunnyTrack. It's only for Android in the moment. I'm not sure if there will come also a version for Apple, but maybe, I'm not sure about it. But it's really a great and simple tool. So, and I can show you, I just open the SunnyTrack app. So now I see where I am and I see where the sun will be in which daytime. And I can change the daytime so that I see in which angle I have the sun there. And I also can really very quickly go to the AR module and I see where I am in the moment, so I can go up and see the sun up there. And when I go more to the right, I see where the sun will be at sunset, and I know sunset will be at round about 2045, 2044. So I know the sun will go down behind that mountain back there. And this is really useful because now I know I have the lake down there. I see the lake here from this position. I think you will not really see it with this wide angle. It's down there behind the trees, and left beside it there is a hill, and I hope that the hill will nicely cast the sunlight from the right so that we have a fantastic sunspot left beside the lake, and that it goes over a little bit to the shadow at the left. This really would add to the composition. So I have the composition already in my mind, you know, I saw it already on Google Earth, so it's really difficult, but I think I will try it. And however, one more thing about the SunnyTrack app. You know, I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I have a giveaway for my subscribers, and you guessed it already, it is the SunnyTrack app. So 5 of you out there will get it, and I will tell you later what you can do that you will get this app for free. So I can estimate how the landscape will look then. And as already mentioned, I expect that the clouds will resolve, and the moment we have clouds here, so I think we still will have some tiny clouds. And this is also always a problem, to be honest, because it's not a problem when you have them up on the sky. You can clone little clouds out, but when they touch mountains, it could really distract a little bit. So I will have dinner now and think about the composition again.
Then I know I'll never ever be alone.
So the sun starts already to go down, and I prepared already my drone. I want to go up now. It's around 20-25 minutes before sunset, but I saw already that the lake started to get into the shadow, and I don't want to lose all too much time here. As already mentioned, I have to shoot it with the drone today because, yeah, the trees are in the front and I don't have a possibility to have a view down there with my camera only. A very important thing what I did is I tried to use a circular polarizer and tried to screw it and tried to get an idea which effect it has. And as the sun comes from the right, it has really a big impact. And this is also why I screwed a circular polarizer on my drone. So I will start now the drone up there, and I will shoot a panel up there because it's really difficult because of the composition. I don't have all too much time, and I will shoot the panel there. I'm not 100% sure about the focal length because, as I already mentioned, I've only one battery with me. I didn't have the possibility to get a test shot before, so I will fly up there, point to my rough composition, and then I will take a panel shot. So I will photograph in RAW, obviously, that I can work with it afterwards in Lightroom, and so let's go. What a fantastic spot up here. It's absolutely amazing. I really got a photograph with the drone only, but yeah, I think it's not a problem. Of course, obviously the sensor of a drone is much smaller than of a bigger camera, but who cares? It absolutely doesn't matter. So I'm already on the way back because I have a long way here to go down, and the problem is it's around 2 hours down now, I think, something like this. I'm not 100% sure. And the problem is I don't know this path. So in the absolutely dark it could get tricky. And what I want to tell you now is, and I don't forget it, the giveaway. So if you want to have a SunnyTrack app, and I can really recommend, it's really a fantastic app. First of all, my daughter said me what I have to do for the giveaway because, yeah, she explains me how YouTube works and everything and so on. And she said, you have to subscribe, you have to hit the bell icon and a lot of other things. And I thought it's maybe a little bit too much what she wants. Obviously, it really makes sense that you hit the bell icon. So if you really like my videos and want to see more of them, it's really an advantage when you hit the bell icon, because when you don't do this, you will not see each of my videos on your starting page. And so it's really recommendable, but it's not a must for this giveaway. So the only thing you have to do is just comment below this video which of my videos is your favorite and why. That's it. And I will plant the winners in my videos down in one of my next videos, next or 2 weeks or whatever. I'm not sure how long it will take. And my daughter said she wants to choose who will get the apps. 5 winners, 5 subscribers will get the SunnyTrack app. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If yes, please give it a thumb up. Share this video with your friends, maybe on Facebook, Instagram, wherever. I were really happy about it. Would help me to grow this channel, and I'm absolutely sure also the people you will share the video with will also be really happy about. Subscribe to this channel if you didn't have already. So thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.